So, I identified as a ex-gay from 1989 to 2013, and except for a brief 6-month period when I tried to be gay. That didn't work out. And since 2013, I've identified as a celibate gay Christian since I started going to the VA for therapy. And in 2013, I was diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder and depression. And 2 years ago now, I was diagnosed with specified other personality disorder, strong traits of schizoid personality disorder, and strong traits of obsessive compulsive personality disorder, binge eating disorder, and hallucinations. And the hallucinations one is a little tricky. But I loved being an ex-gay. I got born again just before my 18th birthday, immediately got involved with the ex-gay community. I'd heard about it on the news when I was like 16, and I loved it. I loved being an ex-gay. It suited my personality, and I had a difficult childhood and teenage years, and I thought it was all because of homosexuality. So I thought, being a Christian and being an ex-gay was the ticket, and this was going to solve all my problems. And after 10 years of this and failing at 2 careers, things were not going so well. And I went into the military, and that was just experienced some really bad trauma there that I won't go into. But after that, I tried to be gay, and that did not work. That was a very self-destructive time for me. And after 6 months, I just went back to the ex-gay movement. It wasn't so easy to give up sodomy after getting a taste of it, but after 3 years, I was celibate again. And, I had gone to ex-gay therapy from 1989 to the year 2001. And that was not working, but I had serious mental illness. I just didn't know it. And the ex-gay therapists are just lay therapists, meaning they're religious therapists, not trained in any way. And by 2001, I was like, something's going on. So I started seeing what I called secular therapists, or licensed therapists and counselors. And that was a complete waste of money, because they only wanted to talk about my homosexuality. As you can tell, I'm pretty articulate, and I did very well at talk therapy, and I talked and I talked and I talked. And I went to several of these gurus with a messiah complex that thought they could solve all problems, and they did nothing about diagnosis. They thought, I just have to accept my homosexuality or something. They thought I didn't have any problem. They didn't diagnose me with anything other than social anxiety disorder, but I was barely making it at a job. Let's see, about 2013, actually about 2010, I started getting my own master's in social work because no one else could help me, and I was trying to help myself. And in 2013, I had my MSW, and I started going to the VA. And then at the end of 2013, I experienced another major trauma in my life. I got fired from my job, but the union got me my job back, and about then I got VA disability, and the VA saved my life. I've been in psych wards 10 or 11 times total. I was in inpatient, I was in besides the psych wards, I was in something called the STARR program, which is dual diagnosis therapy in the VA for 6 months. And then I was in what we call Building 11. I think it's PRRTP, which is for people with serious mental illness. And I was in there for 6 months. And then I was in PRRC, which is outpatient, for about a year and a half. And then I was a house manager at the sober house, which was kind of therapy for me, kind of. And it's called CWT-TR, and it's housing for people transitioning from inpatient to regular life again after going through VA inpatient programs. And I was the house manager for 2 years. It's called Compensated Work Therapy Transitional Residence. And I was getting good therapy, and I had this diagnosis of complex PTSD and depression. And very occasionally, I have hallucinations that are very brief. I did have the standard PTSD flashbacks, but I also had these like odd hallucinations, but maybe once every 18 months, and very briefly. I also misread things in a homophobic way or sometimes a hateful way. But I see things and then I go, that's not what it says. And I reread it and it's not that way. But very occasionally I have hallucinations that are just, I don't like to go into them, but they're extremely scary. But sometimes they'll last a minute or two at the most. But most of the time, I mean, they're extremely rare, but when I have them, I just close my eyes, look again, and it's gone. And my psychologist said that's an unusual quirk of your mental disorder, and I'm not gonna diagnose you with hallucinations or schizophrenia or anything like that, because it's so just unusual and unique to your you have high anxiety, and it's just an unusual thing for you. 2 years ago, I went to the VA to try to get approved for weight loss surgery. And they gave me this little test and they said, oh, you have binge eating disorder. And I talked to the psychologist for admission to the program, and he said, wow, you lack empathy. I was like, I don't think I lack empathy, but they set me up for some in-depth diagnosis, and they came back with this specified other personality disorder, strong traits of schizoid personality disorder and obsessive compulsive personality disorder. And so it feels like my entire life has been a lie, because here I am. I've been celibate my whole life, most all my life, and I've been dedicated to Christ, but I don't have a lot of friends, but I need a lot of friends. I haven't done well in careers at all, but I mean, realize that now, after all these years of identifying as an ex-gay and celibate gay, that all this time I've had strong traits of schizoid personality disorder, and schizoid people do not like to be in relationships and don't like to have sex with other people. And so it feels like, I mean, I don't care, but it, which is typical schizoid as well, but it's just kind of, I don't think I've been living a lie, but I have misunderstood my whole life who I am, and I'm disappointed by that. But I still feel I'm a Christian. I'm still celibate, but I don't know how to identify anymore. So anyway, thank you for listening.